welcome our virtual watercolor friends to the 25th episode of Into the Filmverse. What is Into the Filmverse, you ask? Well, that is a great, magnificent question. It is a podcast where we cover all type of films, news, and film punditry, and just anything we want to talk about in the world of cinema. And it's hosted none other but my lovely friend
Bryce Payne.
Wow. And me, myself, Mytchel Chandler. And today we are discussing breaking film news, the new releases of The Father, Sound of Metal, Cherry, and various content we watched throughout the week. And, of course, Nicolas Cage, Vampire's Kiss. Thanks to our good old friend Micah Grubbs, who dipped on us, so now we had to suffer through it by ourselves. He found out he's going to Saudi Arabia, so I guess thank you for being a troop, and thank you to our troops out there. He's a part of the Air Force. So, we appreciate you, but, yeah.
You left us to suffer.
You left us to suffer alone. If you want to see our reviews for anything we talk about today and get our thoughts on other movies, be sure to join us on Letterboxd, the social network for film lovers. Bryce, where can people follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram at Payne Love Cinema. You can find me on Twitter at Sanguine Films and Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews.
Beautiful. And then I am on Letterboxd there at Mitch Reviews, and that's with Mitch is with Y, so Mytch. Okay, so before we dive into our weekly movie watches, we're going to go off the top with some recent movie news. At this point in time, the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier has come out. We talk about those a week later, so if you're wondering why we're not talking about that, that's why. A little bit of movie magic. We record our podcast before they come out. So
yeah, we haven't got to see it yet, so
exactly. But
soon though.
But we'll talk. Yeah, so we'll talk about the first episode next week there, and that'll be super exciting. And also, this weekend coming out is Zack Snyder's Justice League. But what we do get to talk about, some movie news. Venom 2 pushed to September of 2021.
God damn it.
God damn it is right.
On the bright side, though, if it is connected to the MCU under Venom 2, then at least we'll see Spider-Man in December.
Yeah, good point, actually. Okay, so here's the thing. We talked like last week or week before about Fast 9 moving to NDAs. Moving to that same date that Venom's on. So it's not a surprise that it moved. It just sucks.
Who's going to be top? It's going to be Venom, hopefully, because NDAs.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Fast 9 doesn't make a lot of money because of the fan base around it, but that film was just a whole lot of beep NDAs. Okay, so Venom 2 was pretty. I'm excited for it. Obviously, everything.
When's the trailer though? Come on, boys! Spider-Man already had announcements. We already got trailers for half the other shit. Come on, give it to me.
Yeah, exactly. So, just some more movie news of those pushing. Wow. So we'll get to that eventually. Hopefully, it stays on the September release date. We're locked in there. Don't have to worry about that.
I know that Disney said that they're going to still push for that May 7th release for Black Widow.
Yeah, I saw that too. I think they said that they're keeping their options open.
If they change it, just release it on Disney Plus, man. I don't give a fuck. I will literally stop caring.
Yeah.
Just fucking pay for it. I don't care.
Here's the thing. If they move it, I think some people are theorizing that if they do move it, I don't know if there's any actual basis on this, but if they would move it, they'd move it to June, like late June.
I don't fucking care. I'll pay the $30. I'll pay the $30 to watch on Disney Plus. I don't care.
I would too. But really, what's the point? That's moving it an extra month, and then your marketing's all fricked up again.
Yeah, all those posters and shit you fucking made, and now they don't matter.
Exactly. So I'm hoping they stick to the date. We'll see. I mean, we're getting close now, so about month and a half away. Yeah, month and a half away. So we'll see. So Avatar became the #1 movie of all time again. That's not Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I don't know why you would think that, because it's not a movie. Actually,
hey, I was like, it is. M. Night Shyamalan made one.
Let's forget that. Yeah. So Avatar with the blue people, that became #1 movie all time, but doesn't matter. Not really, because they're both Disney. Because it was held by Avengers Endgame, and then Avatar re-released in China. And got that box office up over there to be.
That's how the box office in China was enough to make Avatar #1 again, but yet here in the States we don't have shit open.
Oh my god, right? Yeah, I mean, actually it's starting to come back up. A lot of California things have started back to open up again. I think some New York ones have. It's looking very positive. Let's cross our fingers. Hope everybody stays with their mask on throughout the rest of this final bit here, as we can hopefully get some sort of normalcy back.
Come on, cinema, come back to me. I miss you.
I know. Just I'm holding out hope. Okay, so this is the fun part of this segment. So Oscars released their nominations for all their rankings, but Best Picture is the one we're going to talk about in particular here today.
Yeah, I really don't need to go into costume design. I don't pay enough attention to that normally.
I like going into some of them. I'm going to mention off the top here, and I probably mentioned a few times throughout, like not just this one, but this episode. But
Here comes the rant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get too mad about it. I've made my peace with it. I think I ranted to you enough.
All fucking year.
I know. I don't think the Oscars is like a good idea to happen this year. Like mostly because it's just like every time you have like a film, or if you're nominated and win this year, because you didn't have so much competition because the theaters were closed down, there's gonna be an asterisk next to your movie that you won, and it just feels unfair to not only the movie fans for like having less competition for these other films, but even to the directors. Like they're putting out these films and they're like, oh, it won an Oscar. Oh yeah, but it was in 2021, so it doesn't really count because there was no films to compete against it.
It's okay, guys. Mitchell's just a negative person.
I'm not a negative person. How do you see that? No,
He doesn't want me to be happy.
never. No, I'm just no, but besides that point, I do want to. I watched all of the Oscar films, and even though I had my apprehensions about whether or not they should have it or not, I do want to be able to talk about it and be part of the conversation regardless. Because
I've been talking about them for a year now, and every single time I talk about it, he's like, "But
I get salty."
But 2020, and I'm like, "Fucking Oscars, I don't care."
Don't worry, I do get salty each time, but I try to remain positive as best as I can. And so these are the films that came out for Best Picture winners. They are Mank, Nomadland, Minari, Judas and the Black Messiah, The Trial of Chicago 7, The Father, The Sound of Metal, and Promising Young Woman. And so we are going to each go through and say what our ranking of the films were. Bryce, I will have you go first.
All right, now you're going to notice some little bit differences between me and Mitchell's ranking.
A little bit.
I like better films than he does. No, okay, so in first place, I'm really pushing for Nomadland. It's gotten a lot of praise. I think that it's a solid pick. Second place is Minari. I love that movie, too. Also, the screening was pretty cool. So, Sound of Metal is third. That's the last. No, not the last. Sound of Metal I watched with my wife, and we both loved it. The fourth place is The Father, a great film about dementia, Alzheimer's, whatever. It's so powerful. It's so good. Fifth place is Promising Young Woman. A little bit of a shock to see it nominated for Best Picture. Did not expect it, so it's kind of cool to see that.
It's one of those films that you wouldn't expect to be in the Best Picture category.
Yeah, dude, I saw it was nominated. I was like, I'm shocked, but I'm surprised and pleasantly.
In a full year, this would not have come out, would not have been in there. That one in particular, because the rest of these, I can see why they would be in there.
Yeah, that one's like an outlier for me. I'm like, I kind of get it, but it's weird.
I would say maybe The Trial of Chicago 7. I don't know about that one. Like, if they had a full year, I don't know if some of these films would be as strong as what I've seen in the past.
That's fair, yeah.
And, okay, sorry, go ahead.
Number 6 is Trial of Chicago 7.
Right, exactly.
And number 7 is Judas and the Black Messiah. Probably a little bit of backlash on that, but I just didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones above it.
No, it's definitely fair.
And number 8 is Mank, which I hated, so...
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people actually love Mank, and I'm like...
Fucking Hollywood.
Mank and Citizen Kane, I just don't get.
Every cinema buff is literally like, it's a movie about Hollywood, it's so good. And I'm like, bro, you gotta look past that.
Maybe eventually, like I'll take some more film classes and I'll learn something about Citizen Kane that I just not looking at from a certain perspective, but it just does not work for me.
But Mitchell, that's mine. We'll go into more on some of these when you yours.
So this is my ranking of the Best Picture nominees for the 2021 Oscars. In first place, I have The Father.
It's amazing that this was so powerful for you.
I don't know, like I've just never because you always talk about well, I'll get into it in a little bit, but that film, just particularly the way it was shot and how it played out, it's like something I hadn't experienced before.
Yeah, we get to go more in depth in that in the actual like what we watched because we both watched that the last week.
In second place, I have Promising Young Woman.
Again, you know, when we saw this, I didn't really remember what it was. I think we talked about that when we actually talked about it on the podcast.
Right.
And leaving the theater, I was like, holy fucking shit, that movie was so good.
Yeah, it was. It's not even just the how good it, like the regular part of the film was. It's just that ending. That last 3/4 is just so like ballsy for what
unexpected.
I've seen.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, you guys really went there. Cool.
I know. Like I put it in second place just personally. I know it's not gonna like. I don't think you would even be up there in a discussion for second place. But that's just where I personally exactly. Because you know what we think the film should be is different than what I think other people will vote. You know.
Oh yeah, I 100% think that the Oscars are really gonna be pushing for Mank because it's Hollywood and they love movies about Hollywood.
We'll get into that in a little bit and see. I'll let you know. Talk about which ones we think Oscars will put in first. But third place, I have The Trial of Chicago 7. Fourth is Sound of Metal.
Do you even really remember Trial of Chicago 7?
I don't. But the only reason I put it in third place is because I just see what I ranked it, and it was above. And like I just saw that it ranked above that one. Like just so I was like, I guess I have to put it there because it ranks. The fourth one I put Sound of Metal, but I don't know why. It's one of those films that like the more you sit with it and like let it just like be with you, that is the one that kind of just like resonates with me the most.
We'll talk about that more too because I got some things to say about that. But that's part of the thing.
And then in fifth place, I put Judas and the Black Messiah.
You know what's a shame about that movie? Is that neither of the actors were actually nominated for Best Actor.
That's a sure shot. Well, not necessarily that one, but if you're nominated for Best Picture, but then don't get nominated for Best Director, you're probably not going to get it. No,
not director. Like neither of the actors.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Well, you're right on that point. If you don't get voted for the Best Actor, it's kind of like, did you have the Best Picture then?
It's even like I was looking at the Best Directors. Only 3 of these movies have I think it's only 3 have nominations for Best Director.
Yeah, so it's going to be one of those 3 movies then.
I'm like, okay.
Exactly. Then in sixth place, I have Minari. Seventh place, Nomadland, and 8th place is Mank. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for Nomadland because
Minari, both those two, you're gonna get a lot of flack for.
Okay, Minari. Honestly, that one I don't like think I should get flack for. That one's just kind of like a dad's pipe dream. That didn't to me that wasn't a very strong film. However,
I loved it. I don't know.
Number 7 or Nomadland, I understand why people might like that film because it's a good film.
It's just not super engaging.
Correct.
Which is just the point. I'll be honest. I checked the time a lot during that movie, but I still liked it.
That's like my thing. Is like I like to be engaged and excited, and yeah, I know that when I describe that, it sounds like action flicks, but it's more that
it does. That's why I'm like you just like movies with guns.
You're like, well, you're not wrong, but I just like something that's like unique and flavorful, and it just has its own like spirit. This one just kind of felt mundane. Like its spirit was just like, here I am. Like that's hey, yes, on the road we go. Like that's exactly.
I'm fairly certain that's gonna win Best Picture,
and that's what I wanted to get into. So with all those, both our rankings out. You want to run through yours just real quick again without commentary, so that way we can get that.
Nomadland, Minari, Sound of Metal, The Father, Promising Young Woman, Trial of Chicago 7, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Mank.
Okay, and then I had The Father, Promising Young Woman, Trial of Chicago 7, Sound of Metal, Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Nomadland, and Mank.
Well, we both don't think Mank should win.
No, definitely not. I'd be kind of disappointed in the Oscars if they decide to win.
I can see him doing it just because it's they like movies about films.
And because the past few years that I've watched, and honestly, almost every we've done a lot of Oscar things on Mondays.
I've seen a lot of them now.
It seems like even though those ones about Hollywood, they don't just choose that. Like they like those and they like to nominate them, but they don't choose them
as
based
often
on
as you would think.
Yeah, exactly.
They like love letters to Hollywood, like things like The Artist that we've watched and stuff, where it's like silent film going to sound or things about like actors. But
because
Mank, I just think isn't okay. Let me go with this. They filmed Mank to be like an old school 1940s film, and I've seen a lot of 1940s films. And I would have probably liked Mank more if it was in color, if it was made like a modern movie, instead of trying to be like quote unquote artistic and trying to be like, look, you're watching a movie made like it's the 1940s, and it's filmed like a modern film.
Right, it had like that dichotomy that didn't work.
Yeah, I'm like, it kind of kills the feeling for me. It doesn't feel like a time period piece. It just feels like they're just adding filters onto stuff.
You know me, I'm just not a huge fan of like that type of era stuff. It's mostly because they just don't have, it's along that same line as they don't have any like unique characteristics about the film that make them pop. They're just kind of like very dry, and then especially the way they talk too. I just don't understand like half of what they're saying. Like it just the words
the dialogue they use.
Yeah, it's like poetic dialogue, and I just don't understand it. Like, it makes me like I have to think about a line every time they speak, and I'm like I don't know what you're saying. So that's why those didn't work for me. But what I do think they will win what will win this year's Nomadland.
I definitely think with the amount of praise that's gone over the last year and a half, there's no way I'd see it losing.
I also feel like I was a little harsh on it. I don't know. I think it might have been just like the way I was feeling a certain day, but I do think I was a little harsh on it. But my point stands nonetheless, is I just didn't have as much of a fun time with it as what I would have wanted. And I do think that one will definitely win. I don't think Promising Young Woman has a chance. I don't think Trial of Chicago 7 has a chance. The only Yeah, honestly, I see what you're saying. I think the only other contender would be Minari. I don't think Sound of Metal is going to win. I don't think The Father's going to win, even though I liked it a lot.
I like The Father that was nominated alone. Sound of Metal, like that blew me away. I'm so happy that got nominated too.
Exactly. So I mean, a lot of good films. I'm gonna put if I had to put $5 on it, I put it on Nomadland.
Oh, I 100% think Nomadland.
I also put her $5 for getting Best Director as well.
100%, 100%. Mainly, and this is gonna sound horrible, but I feel like this year the Oscars are trying to make up for their whole whitewash shit, where it's just like white men winning everything. Because you'll notice this year there's a lot more women nominated, a lot more people of color.
As they should.
Like you have, I think his name is Raz Hamid, the guy who played Sound of Metal, Ruben.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's nominated for Best Actor, which fucking should be. That shit was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Steven Yeun, who was in Minari, got nominated. He's like the first Korean ever nominated for Best Actor. Like I just feel like they're actually like trying, but it feels a little fakeish.
I can see that, and you know, I attribute part of that fakishness to there not being as many films out this year, so they just nominating the best ones they've seen. And it just kind of seems awkward because there's not any other films. Because a lot of these films, all these films are good, but some of them are like not Oscar caliber, what you would expect. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that compared to the movies that got nominated for last year,
right,
it's lesser quality for me. Because I'm like, every single movie last year I watched,
like blew you away pretty much, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Even the ones that like I didn't necessarily like.
We had a comic book movie not for Best Picture last year.
And I will say,
Joker.
like, I didn't necessarily like Joker, but it was mind blowing that it was even made.
I love Joker.
I've only seen it one time in the theaters. That one time I've seen it, and I was like, I'm never gonna watch it again, just because it was so unsettling to watch.
I love that. But, so yeah, we talked about the Oscars there, and we're gonna actually go into our weekly movie watches because part of the Oscars we actually watched 2 of them. Bryce had watched The Sound of Metal last week. I watched it this week, so I guess we could start off with that one. The Sound of Metal. I'm gonna let you go first because you have a bone
ready
pick
for this?
You have a bone pick with me. So
okay. So, I was looking at this list and it was saying movies that could be nominated for Best Picture, and I was like, oh, Sound of Metal, well, that's on Amazon, I'll watch that. And also Criterion got the rights to put Sound of Metal in the Criterion collection next year, so I was like, well, I'm gonna watch it now, you know, that way I can knock 2 birds out with 1 stone if it gets nominated. So I'm sitting there watching it with my wife, and we're both like, holy shit, this is so good. So I text Mitchell and I was like, hey man, I watched Sound of Metal, it's really good. And he's like, yeah, I watched 15 minutes of it, I'm not gonna like it. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I tried to watch a little more. This guy's an idiot. And I was like, bro, it's so fucking good. And then like, as soon as the Oscars got announced, you were like, all right, I'm going to watch it. And then you're like, oh man, this fucking shit's so good. I'm like, I fucking told you so.
Yep. That's pretty much the events there that happened.
Dude, my wife cried 4 fucking times watching this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So you know there's cries you can have where it's just like normal cries in a film. Nah.
This is power.
I literally sobbed, like, you know, like was like gasping for air sobs, dude. Like when that scene, it's not really a huge spoiler, but
he goes deaf film, if you didn't.
Yeah, that's the main of this film. But you know, he goes deaf, and I'll just say the car scene. I'll just say that. You probably know what I'm talking about. The car scene with his girlfriend.
Yes. Okay. I had to think. I was like, when were they in a car?
Right, and the car scene with his girlfriend, and you know, and then he starts crying, and you just like, I just lost it. I don't know what happened because I was like, okay. And here, the reason I had said it the first time, I was being a little angsty that night, and I watched it on my cell phone. So then I'm like, I was watching it on my cell phone, and I'm like, okay, about a dude going deaf, whatever. And then he goes straight back into playing drums after he learns he was going deaf. They told him not to be in loud music, and I was like, this is dumb. And then
he didn't want to give up what he loved, man.
And then you started talking about the sound in it, and I was like,
dude,
okay,
holy
that's
fucking
cool.
shit, the sound design in this movie. Okay, so I know my sound setup is a lot better than yours.
Sure.
Because I had like the speakers everywhere. I got like 7.1. I don't think you do. No. But dude, like that sound whenever his ears would start buzzing and shit, and it came through the speakers next to my head, I was like, oh fucking shit, this is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, watching on your phone was one thing, but then when you said that, and I was like, you know what, that's probably a good point. I got to watch this on my TV. And the Oscar came out, so I was like, okay, I got to bite my tongue and actually watch this. Yeah, it was a really, really good movie. And the more it's one of those films that, like, okay, it was 4 stars for me, but then the more I sit with it, the more I'm like, I want to watch this again. I want to get another experience with it. Kind of like how Whiplash was with me. I think I gave that a high score, and then I watched it again. I gave it a higher score, and then I watched it again.
It's I don't know. The Sound of Metal is just an amazing experience.
Yeah.
I will say I felt like the third act wasn't nearly as good as the first two until the very end of the third act.
I don't know if I ever felt that. I kind of like I just felt like a continuation of everything. I didn't really feel like anything like lost
No, it's
at any
just
point.
when he got back with his girlfriend, I was like,
You know, it didn't feel like it just felt strange. I don't know why, because the way she was acting, it just felt very different from the beginning.
yeah, it's like she. I don't want to go into spoilers, but yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
exactly. So, I would please check that out. Very good film.
Definitely deserves the best actor nom that he got.
Oh, I 100% agree. You know, I could see him winning that.
I really fucking hope he does, because like, don't get me wrong, Anthony Hopkins got nominated too, and like both of them, like, I would put both of them together.
That's where I would put Anthony Hopkins was pretty good, but just from what he did in that film, I would give it to him. Out of both of those.
Okay, so I don't think this is a huge spoiler, but that scene where he's like, "I can't fucking hear you. I'm fucking deaf," and I was like, "Oh my god, dude, this would fucking suck." Like,
yeah, that's like every scene, but no, I know.
No,
I know what
he's
you're
in
talking about.
he's in the van and they're
camper,
talking.
Yeah, and they're talking.
And she's like, "I can't." He's like, "I can't fucking hear you. I'm fucking deaf." And I was like, "Shit, dude!
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine the pressure of that.
No,
like,
dude.
just suddenly that's just gone."
No, yeah, absolutely amazing movie. It's one of those films that you watch and you're like, I don't know if I can watch it again because it's heartbreaking and hard. And
I'm definitely gonna rewatch it when Criterion releases it 100%. As soon as I get it, I'm like, Jada, we're watching this tonight.
It's kind of like 13 Reasons Why. Like I just couldn't watch that. I can never watch that again. It's so like, I don't know, mind altering. But so that was good. And then The Father, also a really good film.
Dude, okay, I didn't think you were gonna like this one.
I know you didn't.
Well, like, you're like, I'm gonna go see The Father, and I texted you. I was like, yeah, Jada and I don't think you're gonna like that.
Part of me was like, fuck you, I'm just gonna like it because I want to like it. But
Me with Tom and Jerry.
all right, exactly.
I
But
couldn't
I went in
force
there and I was
myself.
like, not fair. Just like breathe and then just drop whatever you're having. Just like sit and watch the movie and how it hits you, it hits you. So I did. And honestly,
like,
this film is fucking phenomenally crazy. It's just weird, dude. Like, okay, you are basically like having Alzheimer's yourself while watching this film, and it's nuts. Like, I was like, what? Every 5 minutes, I had like my brain started hurting, and I was like, this is probably like not the thing you want to hear in a movie, but it did. I was like, my head started hurting. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, I don't like. Are my eyes okay? Is my brain okay? Like, I started questioning myself.
Okay, so this is where it gets kind of personal for me and Jada. We both worked in nursing homes.
Oh, true.
And Jada, my wife, is a CNA, so she I looked over and I didn't cry or anything during this movie. I was like, whatever. But man, she would not stop crying through the entire thing.
I could see that, dude. That makes sense, yeah, especially if you have that connection.
I was like, you deal with this like in person, like the amount of like
realness.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she's
Authenticity.
she's watching what she does for a living on screen.
That's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I can see how it'd be especially powerful for her. But even Mia, who's just like never experienced before, I think just the way the film is shot and
It
how
puts you in his shoes, man.
they do, and it's not even just like it's I don't know how to explain it because it's not even like you just like it's not like they're just carrying you through this film with just watching what this guy does in his life. It's just like it's like you are him.
Yeah,
you're
lose,
in his mind.
You lose track of time. You lose track of what's happening. You lose track of where you are. You lose track of who people are. Like,
it very much reminds me of kind of like Get Out almost.
dude, it's so trippy. It's so fucking. I
Like
wonder.
a horror film almost.
I wonder what other movies that guy.
like
fucking
if you
made.
did that type of film in like a horror setting and you know that would be insane. Like if you did that but just with a darker twist.
Holy fucking shit, dude! This was the director's first movie apparently, or at least according to
Wow.
Letterboxd.
Yeah, well that's crazy, dude.
Because he's got something about a tale in adolescent depression, but has no fucking.
What's his name?
It is Florian Zeller.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, that'd be it's a really good film. I'd also check that one out because it's just if you're in for a wild ride one night, just like sit down and just
He's
strap
got
yourself in.
he's got a theme with his name of his movies. We got the Father,
the Son.
the Son.
Oh my gosh.
Wait for the Holy Spirit.
Oh my God, the Father, Son. If I swear, if that's his next film, we're just like, I'm out. I'm out. Very good film. But so yeah,
I'm just mad that I'm not mad. I'm so happy this got released in theaters when it did, because it just came out
Yeah,
in theaters, and
it did. Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, that has really good ratings. I gotta go watch that.
You know what's funny is I wasn't gonna watch this, and then it came out as an Oscar nomination, and I'm like, oh, okay, Bryce. I guess I gotta bite my tongue again. Like,
I was like, it could be nominated. You're like, who cares? And then you're like, fuck.
that's. I need to start having better reactions to things you tell me. I'm just like, okay, Bryce, what are you watching? Random movies again? I was like, I'm just being salty for no reason.
And then I know you watched the other new Tom Holland film.
I did. I watched Tommy Holland, my little Tommy boy. Watched him in Cherry. A lot of people do not like this film, but I love it.
The clips I've seen, I don't like it.
Okay, let's just say this.
He looks... Oh, God.
You know what?
We've talked about this before. We talked about this with Chaos Walking.
Yeah.
He does not look like a man. He is a fucking 15-year-old boy. I don't care what movie he's in. I don't care anything he does. He is fucking Peter Parker.
Okay.
Spider-Man.
Good point, and I understand that. However, I don't know why it worked so well it did, but they did not seem as young as what you think. And I think the reason is because they were freshmen in college. They just got into college and as freshmen. And so they seem like right on that cusp of, they're still kind of young, and I was like, it makes sense. Like it barely worked for me.
I don't care. I don't like it. I'll watch it eventually, but I'm not trying to rush for it.
See, I agree with you, and like that's how I felt going into it. Like they're too young; it's not going to work, and it did. So that's why I was like, don't let that deter you.
Sierra Bravo just does not look old enough to be doing anything.
Honestly, and I thought so too, but it works, and I don't the way they shoot it works. However, that being said,
why is the character's name Pills and Coke?
Well, let me read. That's something. However, their age may not have played a factor. However, let me just read you my review because that is the best way I'm going to be able to
oh God,
wrap
that's
this
a
up.
long fucking review.
Oh, I'm not reading the whole thing.
Okay, I was like, that's 4 paragraphs, Mytchel.
That's perfect. I'm not reading the whole thing. Just like, okay. So, if you can't decide what type of film to watch tonight, choose Cherry. It's a romantic love story wrapped up in a gruesome war tale with the after effects of PTSD in the form of a drug addiction story, resulting in a heist film concluding with a prison film.
I'm going to watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray. If it ever comes out on Blu-ray.
Well, it's on Apple TV Plus, so
yeah, I'm not
probably
getting
won't.
Apple TV.
I didn't really get it either. I just used the 7-day free trial.
That's what I have, and I need to watch Wolfwalkers as well, but I'm not rushing into it.
It's disjointed. This film is separated into 5 different parts, 6 different parts. I don't know. There's
4. It says 4.
It says 4, but then you watch the film and there's like different. There's like epilogue and there's an intro, so it's 6 actually. But yeah, it goes like intro, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, epilogue. It's I don't know, man. I really liked it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Because just a lot of the cinematography that they used was really interesting, and I liked Tom Holland and the main chick. I forgot him again.
Sierra Bravo.
Yeah, and however, it's just so awkward. Like the film is just like it doesn't fit well throughout all the pieces. It doesn't flow well. However, if you can like reset yourself at each chapter, each chapter is really good. So I mean, I don't know if you're trying to watch it as like a full movie, like just like all the way through, you might not like it that much. It doesn't flow well.
I'll wait. I don't think I watched anything really. I've been having a lot of personal stuff.
It's one of those things. Is like I want people to watch it because I want to know what they think. Like because I haven't talked to anybody I don't really know anybody that's seen it but I want someone to watch it because I don't know like why some people wouldn't like it beyond that reasons. But it'll be interesting to see. I'll have to look more reviews and see.
We did watch another Best Picture winner on Monday. We watched The Hurt Locker.
Oh yeah, you did.
By Catherine Bigelow, the only woman ever to win an Oscar for Best Director.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
Jeremy Renner is not a guy that could be a badass.
He seems kind of played to me.
Dude,
unless he's in tag.
In this movie, every single scene he's in, he has a cigarette in his mouth. He's looking off in the distance like a badass, sunglasses and shit. I'm like, Jeremy Renner just can't pull it off, man. He just can't pull it off. Anthony Mackie's in it, though.
You're not Carl Urban.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's in it. He's pretty cool.
When is he? When isn't he, though?
Synchronica's pretty good with him.
That's what I'm saying. He was good now.
But, no, like, I don't know. It's not what I thought it was going to be, considering like the amount of praise Hurt Locker has, especially with the woman being the first woman ever to win Best Director. And I think my review was so simple. It was just like, you know what? I cannot see Jeremy Renner as a quote-unquote badass, and they tried so hard to make him one.
Yeah.
And he's the main fucking character.
Jeremy Renner I like him, but also it's like, he just seems sort of like Tom Cruise reject. Oh, sorry, no, Jeremy Renner. Like, if you ever hear this, I love you, but...
This film tries to, like, get PTSD, people wanting to go home, people that can't live civilian life anymore.
Cherry.
It's just, I don't know, man. I didn't vibe with it.
I'm laughing because honestly, you could name any, you could say any type of film, and I could just say cherry, and that's because it's like every type of film. Anyways,
I don't know. I don't know. For me, it was a very meh Best Picture winner.
okay, I can see that.
I don't know I don't know what else got nominated for this year though. I can look it up. 'Cause I was like whatever for this. The King's Speech, the one we watched that came out, they got Best Picture after this one. Way fucking better.
Oh, okay. I've heard Hurt Locker before. I just never watched it.
I've been wanting to watch it just for the fact it's the first woman ever win Best Director, and I was not impressed.
Not in the slightest.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of Best Picture winners now, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, there's been better ones.
That's how I feel about. Well, actually, some of the ones that stack up against this year. This year's pretty good.
You ready for what got nominated for Best Picture this year?
Sure.
I'll start from the bottom. Up in the Air. Don't know what that is.
Nope.
Up.
Okay, fair.
A Serious Man by the Coen Brothers, so I guess that's pretty good. Precious. Inglorious Bastards. An Education. District 9. The Blind Side. And Avatar. Along with The Hurt Locker.
Wait, Avatar, like the
Blue people Avatar.
Wait, hold on. Let me see this again. But what? Oh. Wait, what?
It got nominated.
Inglourious Bastards. That's not
Inglourious Bastards.
That's not Quentin Tarantino's thing, is it?
I mean, yeah, it is.
I'm so confused. I thought that came out like way before that.
No, 2009.
Weird. What was the film was about there? I swear I heard films in that didn't come out in 2009. Anyways,
but Avatar didn't win Best Picture. It's the highest grossing film of all time.
What's crazier to me is that Up was nominated for an animated film was nominated for Best Picture.
There's been a couple of that way.
I know, but
like
it's just like
2010, Toy Story 3 was nominated for Best Picture.
It's just very rare you see an animated film nominated for Best Picture.
Every single nominated film that I've seen that's animated are all Pixar films.
Especially because it's like there's a animated section.
Oh yeah, they never win.
You know, if an animated film is nominated in Best Picture, it's gonna win the animated Best Picture.
I mean, Best Animated Picture has only been around since like 2001.
Yeah, that's true, but cool.
But yeah, no, Hurt Locker, very meh for me. The next one is the next new one we're watching is Slumdog Millionaire, so that should be better.
Ooh.
And the old one we're watching is Sound of Music.
Yeah, I like Sound of Music, but it's not worth watching for 4 hours.
It's only 3.
It's just enough for me not to care.
I don't know. I'm really tempted to make all of our friends watch the nominated movies.
That's funny.
I'm like, I don't really want to watch those all again right now.
That's fair.
Although I'd watch Trial of Chicago 7 to refresh my head. Maybe I'll say that next time.
Yeah, I agree too. So with that down, we're gonna move on to our Filmverse feature. Each week we pick a movie that.
All right. Each week we pick a movie that the other person wants to watch, but we're not doing that today.
We're not doing that today. Yeah. Okay. So last week, you heard our friend Micah Grubbs. He was on the podcast with us. He was visiting. He's in the Air Force, visiting in town for a month. He couldn't join us tonight because he found out he had to get shipped overseas, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, and so he had some stuff he had to take care of. However, he chose us a movie for us.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He chose us. Well, I guess I don't know if I would call it a film. It's kind of an insult to cinema. But it's called.
Oh! I thought this was our picking and not our actual one. So I was laughing because I thought we were about to ask you know who.
Oh,
No,
well, yeah.
I'm caught up now. I'm sorry. I thought we were like, oh yeah, let's announce it. I was like, we're talking about it. That's how bad this movie was. As I forgot about it.
No, we were planning just to skip this segment because it's that bad. Nicolas Cage's Vampire's Kiss. First of all, I just hate you, Micah, for making us watch this. Like, if you don't watch this, it's just unfair.
But Mytchel, it was so good. 5-star rating.
Yeah, 5 stars. Just 5 stars, and please blow up movie theaters and never have cinema made again.
It's not even a box office bomb. It won like $7 million, remember?
Yeah, this film is atrocious. Not a shred of decency in it.
No, and it did not. Just so I'm not lying to everyone, it did not do good at box office. It did terrible. It was on a $2 million budget and got $735,000.
Guys, just think about that. $2 million budget, right? Okay, just put that in perspective. A Avengers Endgame, $250 million. Close to 300.
Dude,
actually, I think.
I think an episode of WandaVision has a higher budget than that movie.
Yeah, and exactly. An episode of WandaVision is like, because what? I think they spent $100 million on each episode on each
We
season?
have Google, so we can find
So
out.
6. So
WandaVision
6
episode
60 million. No, I don't know.
budget. Each episode is reported to have a budget as much as $25 million.
$25 million for one episode of WandaVision.
You could have 12 Nicolas Cage movies for that
Just
budget.
think about this. Think about this. 30 minutes, $25 million.
That's why it was such good quality.
Hour and a half, $2 million and complete garbage.
You didn't like the scene where he
No.
like... what scene
No.
I was gonna say? I was just gonna be like the scene where he tried to rape the girl in the bottom of the building,
Yeah, please nobody ever watch this film again. Just,
or where he
no.
killed a woman with plastic veins.
The scene where he yelled the alphabet like a child.
You know, the movie was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna try to be like, oh, look how funny I am.
Honestly, it was kind of insulting. Let's be honest.
Right? I laughed so much just at how bad it was. But it wasn't bad as in like bad entertaining. It was just bad.
It just makes me mad that somebody made this film, put it out, and so thought somebody might enjoy it.
Am I gonna even get to be here and suffer with us?
No, don't worry. I just see him burning in the pits of hell for making me watch this. That's okay.
That's okay, because I was gonna pick another one, but then I decided that I didn't want to watch a Nicolas Cage movie.
I'm so glad because watch the next one. So we have a surprise for you. We decided not to pick a Filmverse feature this week, at least by our own minds. We're gonna use
too
some
much
AI.
pressure. We're gonna cheap out.
We're gonna cheap
Oh
out.
my
So
God.
Bryce,
Watch it be Lord of the Rings.
no, oh my gosh, no, watch it be another Nicolas Cage movie. Bryce, I'm gonna let you do the honors there. If you want to ask our Mrs. Amazon, what she wants us to watch next week.
Alexa, pick a random movie.
Here is a movie. How high?
How High? That's what film we're gonna watch.
We decided that
2001.
whatever it is, we're gonna watch it.
All right, and okay. Multi-platinum rap superstars Redman and Method Man star as Jamal and Silas. Two regular guys who smoke something magical, ace their college entrance exams, and wind up at Harvard. Ivy League ways are strange, but these guys take it in stride until their supply of supernatural smoke runs dry. Then when they have to start living by their wits and rely on the natural resources to make the grade.
Oh God!
You know what? I'm
It's
gonna
a
love
weed
this
movie. I love it so much.
Yep, this is perfect.
All the other movies we got were like
It-
2.5 hour long, and now this one's 91 minutes.
It literally says comedy stoner. I love it.
And the ratings are pretty average, so make your own choice.
Welcome to Good Burger. Home with the Good Burger. How can I take your order?
Dude, that's immediately what I thought of when it said How High. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be like a good. Oh my God, they made a sequel to it,
Oh my god, this is beautiful.
and the sequel came out 2019, and it stars Lil Yachty.
So we have Mike Epps, Method Man, Redman, Lark Voorhees, Essence Atkins. I don't know any of these people, but I guess I'm going to. All right.
Method Man is in a Jay and Silent Bob movie,
Jason Bob.
but we're not doing that because I want to do something different.
Yeah, same.
Redman. Oh my God, they're both in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
That's amazing.
Hey, Oba Baba Tunde was in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, wow.
Don't know of who, but he was there. And then Mike Epps is in The Hangover
Sweet.
and Resident Evil. He was also in the Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is supposed to be a really good movie. And Dolomite Is My Name, the one that Eddie Murphy did like a couple years ago.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us as we talk the 2021 Oscars, discuss the most recent movie releases, and Cherry dive deep into the Filmverse about Vampire's Kiss and talk about Sound of Metal and The Father. New episodes come out every Tuesday, so be sure to follow us and turn on notifications to get updates every time we post. If you want to keep up with our activities outside the airwaves, you can stalk us on Instagram at Into the Filmverse Podcast. Bryce, where can people follow you and your wonderful adventures?
Well, you can follow me on... God, I forgot what Letterboxd was first. Follow me on Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews. Instagram at Payne Loves Cinema, and Twitter at Sanguine Films.
All right. I hope you guys go and click subscribe on his channels. And you can stay connected with me, Mytchel Chandler, by simply following me on Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler, on Twitter at Mytchel Chandler, and a Letterboxd at I forgot my own face.
Mytchel.
And a Letterboxd at Mitch Reviews, and of course my name is spelled very weirdly, so it's Mytchel.
Yeah, there's no movies on Letterboxd called Mytchel.
There is some Bryce films though, but that is all for this week, our fellow cinephiles, and until next time,
Excelsior!